My alarm rang at 5 in the morning. I opened my eyes. I was alone in my bed. I got up quickly. I walked to the kitchen. I lived on the top floor. The building was very tall. I looked out the window. The city was still dark. Lights blinked below me. Cars moved on the streets. I felt powerful. This view was mine. This life was mine. My name is Harper. I am 38 years old. I work at Sterling Global. It is a big company. We work with money. The building is made of glass. It shines in the sun. My father built this company. He started it many years ago. He died 5 years ago. I miss him every day. I worked hard for this company. I gave everything to it. I was young once. I had friends. I had love. But I said no to all of that. I chose my job. I chose my father's dream. Some days I felt sad, but today was different. Today was special. Today the company needed a new leader. The old boss was old now. He wanted to stop working. He wanted to rest. Everyone knew I was the best choice. I was the chief operating officer. People called me the COO. I managed everything. I knew every part of the business. I went to my closet. I had many suits. Today, I picked the most expensive one. It was black and perfect. I put it on. I looked in the mirror. I looked strong. I looked ready. My phone buzzed. It was Julian. He was the chief financial officer. We called him the CFO. He sent me a message. "Congratulations, boss," he wrote. I smiled. He believed in me. Then Victor called me. Victor was our lawyer. He worked for my father for 20 years. He was like family. "Harper, today is your day," he said. His voice was warm. "Your father would be so proud." I felt tears in my eyes, but I did not cry. I was too strong to cry. I drank my coffee. I ate nothing. I was not hungry. I only felt excitement. My heart beat fast. This was the day I waited for. This was my dream. I worked for 15 years for this moment. I left my apartment at 6. My car waited for me. The driver opened the door. I got in. We drove to the office. The sun started to rise. The sky turned orange and pink. It was beautiful. Everything felt perfect. We arrived at Sterling Global. The building looked like a castle. It was made of glass and steel. People walked in and out. They all worked for me. Well, soon they would. Soon I would be the boss of everyone. I walked through the lobby. People looked at me. They smiled. They nodded. "Good morning, Miss Harper," they said. I felt like a queen. I was the queen of this place. I took the elevator to the top floor. The doors opened. My office was here. It was big and bright. I had a desk made of wood. I had a view of the whole city. I sat in my chair. I looked at the clock. The meeting was at 9. I had 3 hours to wait. Julian came to my office at 7. He brought coffee. "Are you ready?" he asked. His face looked happy. "Of course," I said. I was born ready. We laughed together. He left. Victor arrived at 8. He wore a dark suit. He carried a briefcase. "Harper, the papers are ready," he said. "After the meeting, you sign everything. Then you are the CEO." I felt my heart jump. "Thank you, Victor," I said. "Thank you for everything." He smiled, but his smile looked strange. I did not think about it. I was too excited. At 8:30, I went to the bathroom. I fixed my hair. I put on lipstick. I looked perfect. I looked like a leader. I looked like my father. I walked to the boardroom. It was a big room. There was a long table. There were many chairs. The walls were glass. You could see the city from every side. I loved this room. Soon it would be mine. People started to arrive. Board members came in. They sat down. They talked quietly. Everyone looked serious. I sat in my chair. I waited. My hands felt cold, but I smiled. I showed confidence. I showed strength. The clock showed 9. Everyone was there, but one chair was empty. It was the most important chair. It was for the majority shareholder. Nobody sat there yet. Then the door opened. A man walked into the room. Everyone turned to look. I looked too. My heart stopped. I could not breathe. It was Angus. I felt my face go cold. My hands started to shake. I tried to stay calm, but I could not. Angus looked different now. He wore an expensive suit. It fit him perfectly. His shoes were shiny and new. His hair was cut short. He looked strong. He looked powerful. He did not look like the man I knew. 5 years ago, Angus was different. He had a small business. He tried to make it work, but he failed. He lost all his money. He lost his office. He lost everything. He came to me for help. He asked me to stay with him, but I said no. I remember that day. We sat in a coffee shop. He looked tired. His eyes were sad. "Harper, I need you," he said. I felt something break inside me, but I did not show it. "I loved you, Angus," I said, "but I love my future more." Then I stood up. I walked away. I never looked back. I thought I made the right choice. I thought he would stay poor forever. I thought he would never come back. But here he was, in my boardroom, in my company. Angus walked slowly to the empty chair. It was the big chair, the most important chair, the chair for the majority shareholder. He did not look at anyone else. He only looked at me. He put his hands on the table. Everyone was quiet. Nobody spoke. The room felt heavy. I could not think clearly. Then Angus smiled. It was not a warm smile. It was cold. "Hello, Harper," he said. His voice was calm. "Long time no see." I opened my mouth. No words came out. I felt like a child. I felt small. I felt weak. "I have news for everyone," Angus said. He looked around the table. "I am the new owner of this company. I bought the majority of shares. Sterling Global is mine now." The board members looked shocked. They looked at each other. They looked at me. Julian's face turned white. Victor looked down at his papers. Nobody spoke. I finally found my voice. "That is not possible," I said. My voice shook. "You have no money. You had nothing." Angus looked at me again. His eyes were hard. "People change, Harper," he said. "I changed. I worked hard. I made new money. And now I own what you love most." I felt the room spin. The floor felt like it disappeared. I held the edge of the table. I tried to stay steady. This could not be real. This was a bad dream. I wanted to wake up, but it was real. Angus was here. He owned my company. He owned my father's company. He owned my future. "Why?" I whispered. The word came out small and broken. Angus leaned back in his chair. He looked comfortable. He looked like he belonged there. "Because you taught me something, Harper," he said. "You taught me that power is everything. You taught me that love means nothing. So I decided to get power. And here I am." I felt sick. My stomach hurt. My face felt hot. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But I could not do anything. Everyone was watching me. The old CEO stood up. He was a gray-haired man. He looked confused. "Mr. Angus," he said, "does this mean Harper will not be the new CEO?" Angus smiled again. That cold, terrible smile. "That is correct," he said. "I am the CEO now. Harper will stay as COO. She will work for me." The words hit me like stones. Work for him. Report to him. Obey him. I left him 5 years ago. I broke his heart. I chose my career over him. And now he was my boss. Now he had all the power. Julian tried to speak. "But sir," Harper has been. Angus raised his hand. Julian stopped talking. "The decision is final," Angus said. His voice was firm. "This meeting is over. Harper, please stay. We need to talk." Everyone stood up. They walked out slowly. They did not look at me. I felt their pity. I felt their judgment. Victor was the last to leave. He closed the door behind him. I was alone with Angus, the man I once loved, the man I destroyed, the man who came back to destroy me. The next days were terrible. Angus did not fire me. That would be too easy. Instead, he made me suffer. Every hour, I had to report to him. I had to tell him about my work. I had to show him my plans. I had to ask for his permission. He made me feel like a child. In meetings, he asked me questions. Easy questions. Questions I could answer in my sleep. But he asked them in front of everyone. "Harper, can you explain this?" he would say. His voice was sweet, but his eyes were cold. Everyone watched. Everyone saw my shame. The staff started to treat me differently. Before, they respected me. They listened to me. Now they looked away. They whispered when I walked past. I heard them talk. "She used to be powerful," they said. "Now look at her." I tried to stay strong. I tried to keep my head high. But inside, I was breaking. One thing confused me. How did Angus get so much money? 5 years ago, he had nothing. He could not pay his rent. He could not buy food. Now he owned a huge company. The shares cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Where did he find that money? I asked people. Nobody knew, or nobody wanted to tell me. The financial records were locked. Only Angus could see them. And Julian. And Victor. I noticed something strange. Julian avoided me now. Before, we were friends. We had coffee together. We talked about work. Now he walked past me without speaking. His face looked guilty. He could not meet my eyes. Victor was the same. He used to call me every day. He gave me advice. He protected me. Now he never called. When I saw him in the hallway, he turned away. He disappeared into Angus's office. They were always with Angus. They had private meetings, long meetings, behind closed doors. What were they talking about? What were they planning? One night, I worked late. Everyone else went home. The office was dark and quiet. I sat at my desk. I felt tired. I felt alone. Then Angus walked into my office. He did not knock. He just came in. He carried 2 glasses and a bottle. "You look tired, Harper," he said. He put the glasses on my desk. He poured brown liquid into them. "Have a drink." I looked at him. "I do not drink at work," I said. He smiled. "You used to," he said. "Remember? We used to celebrate together. We used to make plans together, but that was before." He sat down across from me. He pushed one glass toward me. "Come on," he said. "For old times." I took the glass. I did not drink. I just held it. "Why are you doing this?" I asked. "Doing what?" he said. His face looked innocent. But I knew better. "This," I said. "Keeping me here. Making me work for you. Why not just fire me?" Angus leaned back. He looked at me for a long time. "Because that would be too kind," he said. "You did not just leave me, Harper. You destroyed me. You took my heart and threw it away. Now I want you to feel what I felt. I made a choice," I said. My voice was quiet. "I chose my career." "Yes," he said. "And choices have prices. I paid my price. Now you pay yours." We sat in silence. The air felt thick, heavy. I wanted to leave, but I could not move. "You know what is funny?" Angus said. He took a drink. "Loyalty is expensive, but betrayal is free. You taught me that." I did not understand his words, but they made me feel cold. He stood up. He walked to the door. Then he stopped. "Harper," he said, "be careful who you trust. Sometimes the enemy is not the one you think." Then he left. I sat alone. His words stayed in my mind. Be careful who you trust. What did he mean? I thought about Julian. I thought about Victor. They avoided me. They spent time with Angus. They knew something. They were hiding something. I needed answers. I needed to know how Angus got the money. I needed to know what they were planning. I made a decision. I would investigate. I would find the truth. The company had files, financial records, purchase documents. They were locked, but I knew the system. I helped build it. I looked at the clock. It was midnight. Nobody was here. It was the perfect time. I turned on my computer. I started to search. I typed in passwords. I opened locked folders. I was breaking rules, but I did not care. This was my company, my father's company. I had a right to know. The screen glowed in the dark. Numbers appeared. Names appeared. Documents opened. And then I saw it. A name I did not expect. A name that made my blood freeze. The name on the screen was The Sterling Legacy Trust. I stared at it. My hands started to shake. I knew that name. My father told me about it before he died. "Harper," he said, "I saved money for you. It is in a trust. You can use it when you turn 40. Or if the company needs help, Victor will keep it safe for you." The trust was my money, my inheritance, my future. It was supposed to be mine. Nobody could touch it except me, or so I thought. I clicked on the file. More documents opened. I saw numbers, big numbers, hundreds of millions of dollars. I saw dates. I saw transfers. I saw signatures. My heart beat faster. I read everything carefully. The story became clear, and it was horrible. 3 months ago, Victor opened the trust. He did not ask me. He did not tell me. He just opened it. He took out all the money. Then Julian moved the money. He put it into different accounts. He hid it. He made it look like business money, normal money, clean money. Then they gave it to Angus. They helped him buy the company shares. They helped him become the owner. They used my own money to steal my company from me. I felt sick. I put my hand over my mouth. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Victor was like family. He knew my father for 20 years. He promised to protect me. He promised to keep my money safe. But he lied. He stole from me. And Julian, I trusted him. I worked with him every day. I thought he was my friend. But he helped Victor. He moved my money. He betrayed me. I kept reading. I found emails, messages between Victor and Julian. They talked about their plan. "Harper is too confident." Victor wrote, "She thinks she will be CEO. She does not watch us. This is our chance. We need someone to be the face." Julian replied, "Someone who can sign papers. Someone who wants revenge." Then I saw another name, Angus. "I found the perfect person," Victor wrote. "Angus Cole. Harper left him 5 years ago. He lost everything. He hates her. He will do anything to hurt her." My stomach turned. They chose Angus on purpose. They knew our history. They knew he would say yes. They used his pain. They used his anger. I found a contract. Angus signed it. The words were clear. Angus would be the CEO. He would own the company on paper. But Victor and Julian controlled everything. They made all the real decisions. Angus was just their puppet, their tool. He got nothing from this. No real power. No real money. Just a title and a chance to hurt me. Did he know? Did he understand they were using him too? I thought about his words. Be careful who you trust. Sometimes the enemy is not the one you think. Maybe he did know. Maybe he was warning me. But why? Why would he help me now? Or maybe he did not care. Maybe revenge was enough for him. Maybe seeing me suffer was worth everything. I printed the documents. I needed proof. I needed evidence. My hands shook as the papers came out. Each page showed the truth. The terrible, ugly truth. Victor and Julian stole from me. They used my father's money. They destroyed my future. And they made Angus their weapon. I looked at the clock. It was 3 a.m. I felt tired, so tired, but I could not stop. I needed to do something. I needed to fight back. I put the papers in my bag. I turned off the computer. I stood up. My legs felt weak. But I walked. I had to move. I had to act. I would confront them. All of them. Angus, Julian, Victor. I would show them the proof. I would expose their lies. I would take back my company. But first, I needed to be smart. I needed a plan. If I went to them now, they would deny everything. They would destroy the evidence. They would destroy me. I walked to the elevator. The building was empty and dark. My footsteps echoed. I felt alone, so alone. The elevator doors opened. I stepped inside. I looked at my reflection in the metal doors. I looked old, tired, broken, but I was not broken yet. I still had fight in me. I still had my father's strength. Tomorrow I would act. Tomorrow I would fight. Tomorrow I would win. Or so I thought. The next morning, I went to work early. I carried the papers in my bag. I felt angry. I felt ready. I walked straight to Angus's office. I did not knock. He did not look surprised. "Harper," he said. "Good morning. Do not talk to me," I said. My voice was loud. I threw the papers on his desk. "I know everything. I know what Victor and Julian did. I know they used my money. I know they used you." Angus looked at the papers. He did not touch them. He just looked. Then he looked at me. His face was calm. Too calm. "You are right," he said. "They did use your money." I felt confused. He agreed? Just like that? "Then help me," I said. "We can stop them together. We can fix this." Angus shook his head. He opened a drawer. He took out a folder, a thick folder. He put it on the desk. He pushed it toward me. "Look inside," he said. I opened the folder. My hands shook. Inside were more papers, transaction records, memos, letters, and they all had my signature. My signature on everything. "What is this?" I whispered. "These are documents you signed," Angus said. "Over the past 6 months, you moved money out of the company. You sent it to secret accounts in other countries. You were stealing, Harper. You were bleeding the company dry." "No," I said. "I never signed these. I never did this." "Your signature is there," Angus said. He pointed at the papers, clear as day. I looked closer. The signatures looked real. They looked like mine. But I did not remember signing these papers. I did not remember any of this. Then I understood. They forged them. Or they hid them in other documents. Documents I signed without reading carefully. I signed hundreds of papers every month. I never looked at all of them. The door opened. Julian walked in, then Victor. They both looked serious. They both looked at me. "Harper," Victor said. His voice was cold now. No warmth, no kindness. "We need to talk about these transactions. The ones with your signature. They look illegal. They look like money laundering. You did this," I said. My voice broke. "You planned this. All of it." "We have proof," Julian said. He pointed at the folder. "Your signature, your accounts, your crimes." I felt the room spin. This was a trap, a perfect trap. They used my money to buy the company. Then they made it look like I stole the money, like I was the criminal. "You cannot do this," I said, but my voice was weak, small. Angus stood up. He walked around the desk. He stood close to me. "You taught me something important, Harper," he said. His voice was quiet, deadly. "You taught me that career is more important than people. I am just being a good student." Those words, my words, the words I said to him 5 years ago. Now he said them back to me. "Angus, please," I said. Tears came to my eyes. "Please do not do this." He did not answer. He walked to the window. He looked outside. Victor's phone rang. He answered it. "Yes," he said. "Send them up." "Who?" I asked. My voice shook. "The police," Victor said. "Financial crimes investigators. They have questions for you, Harper." I felt everything fall away. The floor, the walls, the world. I thought about my father. I thought about his company, his name, his legacy. I destroyed it all. No, they destroyed it. But nobody would believe me. The proof was against me. My signature was on everything. I heard footsteps in the hallway. Many footsteps. They were coming for me. I looked at Angus one last time. He stood by the window. He did not look at me. He did not speak. He was done with me. I lost everything. My company, my money, my freedom, my father's name. And there was nothing I could do. The police took me away. They walked me through the office. Everyone watched. Nobody helped me. Nobody spoke. They just stared. I saw their faces. Some looked sad. Some looked happy. Most looked away. We walked to the elevator. The doors opened. We went down, 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 down. I used to go up in this elevator, up to my office, up to my dreams. Now I went down, down to nothing. The lobby was full of people. Employees, security guards, strangers with cameras. They all looked at me. They took pictures. They whispered. I heard the words, Thief, criminal, she stole everything. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tell them the truth, but who would listen? Who would believe me? Cold rain. It touched my face. It mixed with my tears. I stopped walking. I looked back at the building. The glass building, my father's building. It used to be beautiful. It used to be my home, my pride, my life. Now it looked cold, empty, like a prison made of glass. I thought about my mistakes. I did not make a mistake when I left Angus. I did not make a mistake when I chose my career. My mistake was different. My mistake was simple. I trusted the wrong people. I trusted numbers more than hearts. I trusted Julian because he was good with money. I trusted Victor because he knew the law, but I never looked at their hearts. I never saw their greed. I never saw their lies. I looked up, high up, to the top floor, to the CEO office. I saw a figure by the window. It was Angus. He looked down at me. Our eyes met through the rain and glass. I waited for something. Sadness, regret, love, but I saw nothing. His face was empty, cold, just power, just revenge, nothing else. He turned away. He disappeared from the window, and I knew it was over. Everything was over. The police pushed me forward. I walked to their car. The rain fell harder. I got in. The door closed. The car drove away. I watched the building get smaller, smaller. Then it was gone. Ambition is a beautiful thing. I learned that from my father. But ambition can be dangerous too. When you only see your goals, you become blind. Blind to the people around you. Blind to their true faces. And that blindness becomes a weapon that cuts you, a weapon that destroys you. I learned this too late, but maybe you can learn from me. Maybe my story can save you. Thank you for watching Kaviko English Storytime. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe, share it with your friends, and remember, always see the hearts of people around you, not just their words, not just their actions, their hearts. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this story. If you enjoyed this time together, please support the channel. Click like so I know you want more stories like this. Share the video with a friend who is learning English and help them relax and practice at the same time. And don't forget to subscribe to Kaviko English Storytime and turn on the notification bell. Your support is small for you, but very big for this channel. It helps our little reading corner continue to grow.